Please join me in welcoming Gary Tomlinson as he presents his top 10 messages from 10 top books, because the man who does not read good books has no advantage over the man who can't read them. Gary Tomlinson.
Today, what I want to share with you is knowledge and wisdom from 10 great authors of 10 great books on business. And I'm going to do so just with their key messages. Let's get started with Food for Thought. How many of you have seen this book? World is Flat. How many of you read it? And he said, you know, remember when we were young? For some of us, we heard those messages from our parents, eat everything on your plate because the kids overseas are starving. Well, he recommends today that parents tell their children, when you finish your dinner, go study hard because the kids overseas are starving for your jobs. Jim Collins, in his book, Good to Great, he says, you know, good is the enemy of great. We have great schools. I mean, we have good schools, but we don't have great schools. We have good businesses, but we don't have great businesses. We have good political leaders, but we don't have great political leaders. Good is the enemy of great. We get so excited that when we get good, we quit. The E-Myth Revisited. He said, you know what the entrepreneurial myth is? The entrepreneurial myth is that most businesses are started by entrepreneurs. That's not true. Most businesses are started by technicians that have an entrepreneurial seizure. The $1 Million Toolbox by a mentor of mine, Ty Boyd. In survey after survey after survey, the #1 frustration that people have in their businesses is lack of communication. The interesting thing is in surveys, managers say it's one of their top skills. So you got the managers of organizations going, I'm really good at communication. And you got the rest of the company going, huh? The last point that I wanted to make with you is that, you know, I really believe that when you combine great business education with your own business experience, the outcome you'll receive is far greater than the sum of its parts. It's like an alloy. 1 + 1 = 5. And because I get so excited when I read and get this education, I go call people up and I said, man, I got this book report, let me give it to you. Gary, that's okay. Have you read the book? Nah, don't need to, I could write it. Well, I used to just sort of tuck that in my head and go, Now, I can be nasty enough. I said, oh, what would your first sentence be? You know, writing a book, people that take the time to do that, especially these authors, all the wisdom that went into that. We should learn from other people's experiences because often the tuition is too high when we learn from our own. But take something you heard here and go share it with somebody else. Thank you.
I want to thank Gary Tomlinson for coming and being our guest speaker today. Over the last year, I've become quite the avid business book reader, and it's been interesting to see how valuable other people's research and other people's time can be and how I can apply it to my business. And I can even see with many of these books how even if you don't own your own business but you work in a business for a business, how you can transform the way you do things to make yourself more invaluable as an employee, especially when businesses are making cuts in various areas. I wanted to tell you that we've got a couple upcoming luncheons on the flyer that everybody has at your seat. Upcoming next, we'll have Slee Arnold from Women's Edge magazine. She's going to be speaking on how to get the media to write about you. And then in September, we'll have Jan Delore speaking on 3 surefire ways to improve sales effectiveness. Thank you so much for coming.